Hey there, everybody. Welcome back with the Plat. Purplatypus is the name, and we're talking Eiyuden Chronicles, and this one is gonna be spicy. I'm gonna get yelled at in the comments so much. When you make a video talking about the 5 best characters, and it's a positive thing, people are usually like, oh yeah, you maybe should try this character, or yeah, I totally agree, this is OP. But when you make a list talking about the 5 worst, every time I list a character, it's gonna be someone's favorite. And they're gonna be mad. It's like, you're just stupid. You don't know how to use them. You're playing it wrong. This is so OP. If you do this specific thing. All right. Let me just, so it's out there, okay? These are my opinions. You're objectively wrong because I am a genius, okay? And let me explain to you why you're wrong. All right, no, we're just having fun, all right? But these are genuinely the characters I think are the worst. We're gonna get into exactly why I think each one is as bad, but we're going to start with an dishonorable mention, someone that didn't make it. I was considering it, but I actually think they're quite a bit, I think they're just average. Here's the thing. If a character is average versus one of the 5 worst, in my opinion, this is from the perspective of early game on hard mode, I think that it's not that big of a difference. A lot of characters are pretty mid, and then if you're just slightly below mid, I don't think you're that much worse, but I do think that you're worse. So let's just jump into it, right? Dishonorable mention is Mio here. Now, why is I even considering Mio? She's pretty mid, but she seemed so bad to me because I'm comparing her to basically the big brother here. Like, this is not quite a 1-to-1 because there's 5 levels difference. I know that's a decent amount of stats, but I didn't want to level every character up to level 45 right now because that's kind of difficult for me to do. But, I mean, just take a look at the stats, even 5 levels apart. 117 defense, 202 defense, 238 attack, 119 attack. These numbers, they'll gap will close a little bit, but not that much. She really, really heavily prioritizes speed and the ability to get crits. Her HP is really bad. Her defenses are bad, but she is overall mid and viable. He's just like OP. If she's like okay, he's just insanely good. That's all there is to it. So she's more of a honorable mention, I suppose, for this list. Very viable. She just kind of hits like a wet noodle, though. Like, honestly, her attack just doesn't get that high. Even when you level up, like, I used her for a while, and I leveled up her weapon up to level 3. That was when it was still kind of good, and it just was kind of like, eh. You know, she's very cool. She's one of my favorite characters in the game. Not there, though. All right, so number 5. Let's get both these characters out here. Number 5. This is the one that's on the thumbnail that's going to be spicy, all right? Because a lot of people were just telling me how powerful she was. Francesca. I think she is potentially the second or absolute worst character in the game. But this is going to be in order from, like, 5 is going to be least weak, and number 1 is going to be the weakest, right? The reason why she's here is I actually think she has potential. She has so much going for her that's good, with some very serious drawbacks. So let's take a look actually in here really quick. Let's go to our stats. So why is she on the list at all? What does she have going for her? Number one thing, the light and dark heal combo. This hero combo is insane. And it's actually so good that I am going to try running Francesca on my team for as long as I can to see how, because this is just a very powerful ability. It's actually insane. That is the only thing keeping her at number 5 on this list. And maybe she is powerful enough in the late game, but in the early game, this is again from the perspective of the early game. We're not considering all the characters at this time, just ones from like the first quarter of the game or something. So she has decent magic power. She has but she has kind of bad speed. Dex doesn't really matter. Her physical power is there, but it doesn't really matter. So why does she suck? She sucks because she just fucking dies, all right? She just dies. Look at every other character in the game. Pretty much any character in the game. It doesn't matter who. At level 40, she has the lowest HP. The lowest. At level 40, she has 120 less than Noah, right? She has less than other backliners. She has less than everybody. I mean, like, and this guy's level 24 with 206. She's got 136. I don't even know if there's a character on my roster with less. Let's see if there's someone with less than 136 HP. This guy is 125. He's level 23. Okay, he's he's gonna beat her. Anyone else with less than 136? No one. Okay, she's at level 21. She has 100. Maybe she's a candidate for the, but she's a little bit later in the game. And she's also literally 20 levels lower, right? So you'd have to gain less than 2 HP a level to not pass that. I mean, she just fucking dies, man. She just dies. She has no HP. She just gets killed. If anything attacks her, she dies. That's why she's on this list. Yes, she has decent offensive stats. She has a pretty bad rune, I think. The ability to, like, spend 5 SP to go into a channeled state, I think it's kind of a waste of a turn. But she's got good MP. Her runes are kind of bad. But that hero combo is insane. But man, if anything attacks her, she just dies. It's brutal, even with the best armor. And her armored stats are pretty bad as well, but not the worst. She currently has stuff on. Let's actually take it off to take a look at what it is baseline here. Because I mean, I bought her all the best stuff I could buy. Let's even take this off, right? This is helping her out a little bit too. So let's compare her like to like, right? So even with another character that is like a backliner, she's so much more squishy, and she only has a medium range on her weapon, so she can't attack the back row because she has to be in the back row. She's literally the squishiest character in the game. She just dies. That's why. Sorry, I know I like her. I like her in my party because she's fun to have around, but I'm just not seeing it. All right. So that's number 5. Number 4. I'm going to put Mellore on here. Again, here's the thing. I got a comment. Someone's like, can you make a top 5 women list? Like, because it turns out my top 5 characters were all guys. And they're like, can you do a top 5 list, but with the ladies? And I'm like, oh, no. I just realized my bottom 5 list is, like, all girls. And I don't know why. All right? It just, I think they're weak. She falls into kind of a same problem here, Mellore. I think late game, Mellore is going to get a lot better. But early game, she just kind of sucks. Her rune of magical whatever is not that good. Her second rune of magical lyrical is not that good. Maybe her third rune is great. Passive runes with interesting effects tend to be better than, like, average attacks. Usually runes that have, like, high costs and attack lots of enemies are honestly not that good. If you're fighting a lot of enemies, in every situation up to this game, they haven't had that much HP. You'd rather have things that have lower SP costs and deal heavy damage to single enemies, because usually bosses are harder. And AoE, like, they already have pretty low HPs. You don't need to do tons of damage. Especially AoE on 5 SP is so bad. Like, if it's AoE and you're doing a normal encounter and you're fighting 6 enemies, you know how long it takes to get the 5 SP? The fight is fucking over. By the time you could use it, there's only 1 enemy left alive. You know, so it's pretty not that good of a skill. Her first rune is okay, though. It does help you do kind of damage output. But really, she kind of just has the same issue in the early game. She just dies really easily. She has kind of low stats. Like, she actually has way lower physical and magical stats. She makes up for it with, like, a little bit more HP and a little bit more physical defense. But she still just kind of dies, man. She's just weak. That's all there is to it. Like, being able to survive hits is more important than being able to do, and she doesn't even do damage. She dies fast, she doesn't do much damage, but I think in the late game, with her hero powers of her friends, will probably get better. If she gets friends, I don't know, but I've seen, like, in a trailer that there was, like, 3 of them, right? So either they're recruitable, or it'll be part of her last skill, I don't know. Overall, just a lackluster character, very cool, very fun, but, like, totally just whatever, right? Just not good. Honestly, just dies and doesn't do much damage. All right, so that's number 4. Number 3 is going to be Carrie. Again, I know, man. I know. I'm sorry. A lot of these are characters people like. I like these characters. And Mio, these are characters I love. I think they're very fun characters to have around. They have the best voice acting, the best lines of dialogue. Like the magical girl, the get the hell down. You know, every time you teleport, I love this character, all right? And Mio's very cool, but she just sucks, man. Why does this character suck is different than the other ones, though. I actually think from a stat and health standpoint, it's not the worst. She's even squishier than Mellore, so she still kind of has that issue where she dies, but she has, honestly, she's probably weaker than Mellore, but she has an issue that no other character on this list has, at least as significantly. If we look here, she has 3 runes that are all attacks and they're all kind of bad. So here's the thing. Take that. whatever it is deals bludgeoning damage to one enemy. This is like okay. All right, if this is the one she had, I'm like, that's okay. That's fine. But if this was a generic magic slot, a generic all slot, that's better. This is not a better attack than other things. The rune of Get Lost, this is the ability to flee from battle. Now in hard mode, this is the only way to flee from battle. I've never wanted to use this. It's 5 SP. The fights are over by this point. If this was 1 SP, I would bring her along for quality of life. Like if on the first round of combat, I could always just like, all right, just run away. I don't want to do this fight. 5 SP, the fight's over. The fight's over. It doesn't make any sense. And then another rune. You can't take these off. So this is like a wasted rune slot. This is another wasted rune slot. Whatever it is, deal heavy damage to all enemies. 5 SP. Again, 5 SP. It does heavy damage, but it's still like the fights are usually over. And this is not going to be that much stronger than her normal attacks in general. Other characters that deal damage don't need 5 SP to deal this more damage than this. A lot more damage than this. Yusuke does not need to get up to 5 SP to deal consistently way more damage than this. Again, this is AoE by, unless there's like specific boss fights with tons of enemies that all have high HP. And at that point, it's like, then that's probably an imbalanced boss fight, honestly. But still, this is bad. She has 3 runes she can't take off that are all bad. And she doesn't get her final rune slot to level 48. And honestly, between just being not tanky, not doing much damage, and having 3 unremovable rune slots, it's just not good. She doesn't have any usable hero combos that I've had. Dodge is the worst defensive command in the game. Probably. It's just dog shit. It might, there's a chance taunting counter is worse. I found out it doesn't actually affect aggro on our samurai guy. I just kind of noticed it, but also people are pointing out that it doesn't, and I agree. It doesn't seem like it does. So that one might be the worst defensive capability. But dodge is fucking trash. I'm sorry. It's bad. I like her.
I have things to do,
it's bad.
You know.
Man, this video's spicy. All right. That's the 3rd worst character. The 2nd worst character, finally, we're going to someone that I presume to be male. I think Leon said he was male. I think he's a he, him type. All right. So let's take a look. So why is Leon is fucking trash. And this is another character I was really excited to use. I love the Sword of Dark. I love a character. I love magic tanks. I love really, really high magic, you know, like battle mages type characters. This is like one of my favorite archetypes. I actually like the character design. I like purple. They got purple going on in the eyes. I like the idea of a Sword of Dark. That sounds cool. They're dog shit. They're just total dog shit. Why are they dog shit? One, let's go with his biggest strength. His biggest strength is he dumps power to go into magic, which is typically pretty good. However, magic offensive damage in this game is not good. It's just not as good as physical power. The amount of damage you do consistently with magic is pretty lousy, especially like this guy uses a physical weapon anyway, right? I think weapon attack is basically added to his magic. I think power will, you know, basically because he's using a physical attack, this weapon attack always sucks. Always. His power is dog shit. He has a ton of magic damage, but the magic damage is he has to use MP to get it to work. And even when he is using MP, it's like it's just not as powerful as what other damage dealers do with their physical damage. That's just all there is to it. He has no unique runes of anything, you know, nothing interesting here. He only has 4 total runes, and 0 of which are unique. His physical defense, he's as squishy. He might be squishier than Francesca. Maybe. Like, let's take a look. She has no armor on. She's level 40. He's only level 39. He has 84 physical defense. 84 and 143 HP. I mean, absolutely insanely bad defense. I don't think there's another character with 84 defense that is not at like half his level, right? And he doesn't have armor on, but most of these characters don't. But I mean, this defense is fucking abysmal. The only one that has worse defense is Nar right now. And I think that's because, like, it's these characters with 20 levels or something, right? She's level 21. All right, she has armor on. She might have the lowest defense in the game, if I'm being honest. But it's absolutely 0 HP, low HP, Absolutely trash physical defense. Now, he has probably the best magic defense in the game. Here's a caveat. His fucking weapon range is short. His weapon range is terrible, so you don't want to use it. But it's also short, so he has to be in the front row, so he's going to get hit physically. And even when you do get, even if he had an ability that was like draw all magic attacks to him, and you could put him in the back row, you got yourself an interesting character that could do something. He's going to get one shot the second a physical attack hits him. Just get dead. Then, even if you don't, he gets to attack, and his magic attack is fine, but you get like 3 attacks of combat, 4 attacks before he's out of MP, and that's in a boss fight. That's assuming you use no MP all the way up to the boss fight. So it's just complete trash character. Absolutely abysmal. He does have the kids combo. I think this is unlikely to be good because it requires you to have 4 character, 2 of which are the 2 worst characters in the game. And the other 2 are average at best. But Leon, I'm sorry. I like you. You're the worst character in the game. Yes. Almost. Now, the last and actual worst character in the game isn't actually here right now because I can't fit him into my party. And I apologize again. Someone's going to love this character. But the worst character in the game, very simply, and I think it's not even close, is none other than the character that I can't find, Yume. Yume. I'm sorry. Also, okay, we're going to talk about kids combo again, all right? So we got Yume. I don't even know where to start. It's simple, all right? Yume takes 2 slots. That's all there is to it. Yume takes 2 slots. They do not get 2 actions, so you're removing a character from your party for the benefit of having a character that has no good runes. I mean, this rune's okay. This one's okay. But, like, the runes, if they had all 8, that could be fine. But, like, look at again, this, in a way, it comes down to stats. Like, not everything comes down to stats, but their stats are, like, yes, they're better than the average character. Like, she's already beating this character in pretty much every single stat, but it's not that much better. Like, it's really not that much better. It's not 2 characters worth of stats. She's a little bit tankier, and if you compare her to, like, what's one of my good characters, you know, even, like, Noah. She has less defense than Noah right now. She has Noah's not that tanky. But let's put in an actual tanky character, like one of my good characters. Now, this is not going to be a 1-to-1 comparison, again, because of, it's not a 1-to-1 comparison because of the level, right? But, I mean, like, her attack is not that high. She is tanky. She's tanky, right? She's good. If she was a 1-slot unit, I think she would be maybe one of the best characters in the game. I'll be honest. But she is a 2-slot unit. You don't get an extra action. You're losing an action every single turn, and she is not making up for it with the 2nd slot. That is so bad. I mean, I'm sorry. If giving up one of your character slots isn't obviously bad, then I don't know exactly what you're thinking. I think this is clearly the worst character in the game. I used her for a bit, but it's like, man, because she's cool. I like her little monster thing, but fuck. Losing one of your slots is brutal. And can I get back to how bad Kids Combo is? I know it deals heavy damage to all allies and restores moderate HP to all allies, and it takes 4 characters. All right, 1, I think Leon's already like the worst, probably would be the worst character in the game, if not for Yume, taking 2 slots. But because Yume takes 2 slots, this is a 5-character hero combo. It takes 5. You only right, it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll have 1 other character, so all 5 base. I mean, you know, because she takes 2 slots, basically only 1 character gets to do something. The rest are doing the kids combo. This is just, and they takes 4 SP from all characters. Oh my god, kids combo is bad. This better one-shot every enemy. This better do 9,000 damage, because Leon's not even going to live to see this. Faye is not even going to live to see this. So, I think taking 2 slots is super bad. Now, with that same logic, I do think Chandra could probably be up there as well. However, Chandra does seem just to have way better stats. But I do think Chandra is pretty bad. I think taking up 2 slots is a really big downside, like, honestly. But Chandra, I wouldn't consider an early game character. So there are characters that are probably worse than what I've listed that are going to be, but like a lot of characters are just mid, if I'm being honest. So I think Francesca, Leon, and Yume are just like kind of stand out. Francesca, I think, would be one of the worst characters, would be higher up on the bad list if it wasn't for how good that hero power is. That hero combo is actually kind of nuts. And I think that, like, so if she lives until you get enough SP to do it, it's fucking insane. It's a huge heal with no MP and a big attack buff to the whole party. And physical damage is better than magical damage for the most part. So she didn't make it up higher on the list, but I think there's a lot of situations where she just gets attacked once and she dies. You're like, fuck, all right, well, let's retry this battle. But that's it for this list. It's spicy, man. I know I'm getting yelled at in the comments. Someone's gonna call. Listen, I already get called names in comments. That's part of the territory. You put yourself out there on the internet, people are allowed to say what they want about you. But if you disagree, try to let me know why you disagree, what you think is worse. I want to know what you think is worse, because I'll acknowledge things are viable. All right. These characters are all viable and you could beat the game with the characters. You could do powerful things with them. But this is a comparison. This is worse doesn't mean trash other than Leon and Yume, really. Like, but tell me what's worse than what you're like, oh, Francesca, or maybe not Francesca, but Carrie isn't bad. I used her for this power. Yeah, but what's worse than Carrie? And tell me why it's worse than what she does. She has 3 pretty bad tied up rune slots that she can't use for anything powerful. But also Francesca, I think, only gets 1 magic slot. Like, that's really bad for like a primary, for like a primary damage or a primary healer, or, you know, a magic user. She can attack, but she only has 1 magic slot. That's pretty rough. The really good mages have more than 1. Like, if you take a look at the best mage in the game here, Rune of Dark, Rune of Storm, Rune of Conservation, 2 magic, and a Rune of Conversation. Absolutely, this character's badass. So strong. And he gets a shield. His defenses aren't that good. Like, but he has way more HP. He has a little bit better. He has worse magic defense, but like better physical defense. But really, he also has a shield, which really decreases the amount of physical damage he's taken in the back row a lot. And he's got the best passive and 2 magic ones. So, anyway, I'm rambling now. That's all. Let me know what you think. Hope you guys had fun, and I hope I didn't ruin your day. All right, you have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.